I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 12th, 2015. A rocket was fired from Gaza last night towards southern Israel, but reportedly fell short. Sirens were heard in the Ashkelon region just after 10 p.m. local time in Israel last night as residents ran to bomb shelters and safe rooms. However, the IDF later said they were unable to find an impact site for the rocket and that it likely landed inside Gaza. A Salafist group affiliated with ISIS claimed responsibility for this latest rocket. The Israeli Air Force has not responded. CEO of French telecom giant Orange, Stéphane Richard, met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem today. Richard came to Israel in an effort to clarify comments he made last week in Cairo, seeming to suggest a boycott of Israel. Today, he thanked Netanyahu for the chance to, quote, clear up the confusion.
I regret deeply this controversy, and I want to make it totally clear that Orange, as a company, has never supported and will never support any kind of boycott against Israel.
The top legal official for the IDF last night announced the findings of its investigation into the deaths last summer of 4 Palestinian boys during Operation Protective Edge. On July the 16th of 2014, an Israeli Air Force strike on a Gaza beach accidentally killed the boys who were playing there. IDF spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner called the deaths one of the most tragic in the conflict with Gaza last summer. After a long investigation into the incident, the military advocate General Dani Efroni determined that no charges would be brought against the Israeli soldiers who carried out the attack. Surveillance shows the children were playing in an area used exclusively by Hamas militants, and that the IDF could not have known that the figures moving around a container known to be used for the storage of weapons were children and not Hamas terrorists. Lerner said the IDF has been working to improve a number of its operational capabilities in order to minimize the risk of the recurrence of tragic incidents of this kind. Efroni also announced today that the Army was extending its criminal investigations into 3 other incidents that occurred during the war with Gaza this past summer. Efforts to boycott Sarek London's Israel Film and Television Festival have failed. Last week, 40 of Britain's filmmakers and artists, in a letter which was published in the London daily The Guardian, called on 2 movie theater chains to refuse to show screenings of Israeli films that were part of the festival. They also called on the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, BAFTA, to end its involvement with the festival and cancel its opening night event. They wrote that the festival was co-sponsored by the Israeli government via the Israeli embassy in London, quote, creating a direct link between the cinemas, the festival screenings, and Israeli policies. The theater chains rejected the call, saying hosting a festival is not a political statement. The organizers of Sarek responded that the festival is a showcase for the many voices of Israel, including Arab Israelis and Palestinians, as well as religious and secular groups, and that maintaining freedom of expression in the arts is something that, quote, the British have worked so hard to defend. Sarek opened last night and will run through June the 21st. Some of the Jewish world's top innovators from across the globe gathered in Jerusalem this week for the 2015 ROI Summit. ROI, which stands for Return on Investment, is part of the Charles and Lynn Schusterman Family Foundation, who sponsor the 5-day summit, which promotes Jewish leadership and engagement. About 150 participants from 32 countries included developers of new apps, toy designers, and community organizers. They attended this year's summit, which wrapped up yesterday, all aiming to create a thriving Jewish future and a better world. Executive Director of ROI Community Justin Korda said he was proud that the summit had become, quote, an exceptional forum to convene some of the most promising young Jews from around the world, providing a platform for them to challenge each other and develop their visions for change. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Friday, June the 12th, live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by a Hazamir choir concert at 7:30. And at 8, a look at Jewish culture with a roundtable including acclaimed novelist Amos Oz and architect Daniel Libeskind. That's from the 92nd Street Y. And looking ahead to Sunday, June the 14th, historian, writer, and film documentarian Simon Schama talks with novelist Jonathan Safran Foer, also from the 92nd Street Y, about Schama's 5-part TV series on 3,000 years of Jewish history and impact on civilization, The Story of the Jews. And earlier on Sunday, the premiere of a new series here on JBS, Live at 5. A panel discussion produced in Jerusalem by the online English language radio station based there, Voice of Israel. Live at 5 is hosted by Voice of Israel's CEO, Glenn Landau. It will air on JBS every Sunday at 5 p.m., with encores at other times during the week, and will feature in-depth discussions concerning the most controversial issues challenging Israeli life today. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 12th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.